Creating a discussion forum. Preparing students for college specifically, they will need to understand how to be an active member in an online discussion forum. This will give you some strategies on how to use discussion forums in your classroom. There's all different ones, and they're constantly changing. So this is the latest one to me that is new, and this is again iPhone, iPod, iPad, and it's called Shareboard. And on Shareboard, you can connect up to 4 devices, and you basically have your own shared whiteboard. Now, there's lots of ways that we can do this, but I thought this was an interesting new way that I had not seen before. It's not free. You know me, I love the word free. $5.99. But it looks like I don't know if one person has to buy it or if all 4 would have to have the $5.99. That I don't know. But that is called Shareboard. Now, Proboard, this one's been around a really long time. I miss that whole concept of chat rooms on the internet. I don't know what I was doing, but I've never did such a thing. This has been around a long time, and I'm not sure. It needs a little bit more investigation to go and make sure that you're not going to run into other forums that are inappropriate. So this one is emerging. I'm putting it on my research list. You can create your own forum, and it looks like you can lock that forum down just to certain people. But I don't know that to be positive. So we really want to investigate a little bit more into this one. And here's what you do. You go ahead and set up a discussion board. Now, this is not on Proboard. This is actually on SharePoint. And a lot of you have SharePoint at school and don't realize that there's also a built-in discussion board. The nice part about SharePoint is you can for sure lock it out just to certain people, like in that class, 3rd period, biology, whatever it is. You can go ahead and lock that down. So SharePoint is another place that you could go ahead and create a discussion forum for students. This is one I use a lot, and might have heard me talk about the back channel, which means you're talking kind of behind the back of the presenter. But today's Meet I like because it doesn't need a username, doesn't need a password. We're not going to forget something. We can just jump in and we can go ahead and discuss. This is a little bit more like a chat than a discussion. Usually chat is kind of free-flowing, whatever topic, where a discussion usually means that there's one topic, 1 or 2 well-crafted questions, and then students respond to those questions. That's usually kind of the big difference, but today's Meet kind of blurs the two. One of the reasons I like today's Meet, you have to say whatever you have to say in 140 characters or fewer. I like that. Short and sweet. Now this one is called Join Me, where you can actually go ahead and share your screen with somebody else. And so then you're trying to explain something to somebody, you can go ahead and do that. So you could use this, and then you could have an offline discussion. You could have students show their presentation from their desk, and then there could be an offline discussion. Now, Wallwisher has become Padlet, and Padlet, as it's now called, is a great way to have a discussion. But with all of these sites, you have to educate students first. Remind them that whatever we're putting on the internet, don't put anything on there that you don't want on the front page of the newspaper and your mother to read it. So before you go into any of these sites, you've got to make sure that we teach those types of things. So you can go ahead and join some of the boards that are already made, kind of like Pinterest, or you can go ahead and create your own. But we want to make students understand that they have to behave in these type of online environments, that there's a record of them and what they're saying and what they're doing. And so that's really important before you pick any of these for any type of discussion. Now, I often use a Google word processing. This is in Google Drive, and I just open up a word processing document on whatever the topic is. I use this if I want to make sure that I can save the discussion. Padlet, I think I can save, I'm not sure, but I know in today's Meet it goes away after a month. And so if I really want to make sure that I save whatever we are discussing, I go ahead and use Google Drive and the word processing. Now, if we were a team, a committee, we're working on something, each of us might pick our own color, and that way it just kind of helps differentiate between who's saying what. Also, if I invite you into this document through email, Your name is attached to every single thing you do. So I can see right away, did the student contribute to the discussion? Because you can tell right there. In addition to working actually in the document, there is also a chat going down the side that you could also have kind of doing both things going on. And so that's just another way that we can collaborate, we can discuss. Edmodo has a built-in one. Edmodo is a social learning platform that connects teachers and students, and there is a discussion forum within Edmodo also. Now, many of you that have recently taken classes, you might have worked with Blackboard. And Blackboard is used, I would say, more at the higher ed. It's starting to kind of trickle down to K-12. But Blackboard is kind of the biggest classroom management learning support platform out there. So you may have had experience with Blackboard, and there's really threaded discussions. Sometimes you hear that word threaded discussions, and what that means is one person responds and then it threads, like an indents underneath them. Moodle is another one. Moodle is free. Blackboard, not so free. Moodle is free, but it does take some technical expertise to keep your Moodle up and running. And this is also known as a course management system or sometimes a learning management system. And so Moodle is closer to SharePoint, I would say, but it does have the ability to have discussions going on within your Moodle environment. And you can set up a Moodle room just for each of your classes. Now, we've come back, and a couple times in these sessions, I've come back to the Khan Academy, but a lot of people don't know about it. So I'm going to hit it here, but I want to show you some brand new features that really just appeared not very long ago. So the Khan Academy, Saul Khan started it. It's hundreds of lessons, thousands probably by now, of lessons that you can go in, very strong in math and science. But here's an example. They have completely redone the site, so it's a whole different navigation experience. And so just so you know, so basically you watch a video and then there's practice questions for most of them. This is what's new. This is really important for us to understand. This is the ability for anybody to discuss. So I do not believe these are moderated. I don't think so. I think anybody can say anything. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but we need to help our students make good choices when they are responding to, this would be considered more of a public forum. Now, it's interesting that the comments on Khan Academy are powered by, I think it's Reddit. And I saw that over to the right, so I thought, I'm just going to go investigate. And like the other site I shared with you, Proboards, I'm not sure if I'm ready for this in education. Reddit, the way I understood it, was really to kind of discuss current events, what's going on, and that you could come in and join kind of a discussion. I don't know, again, if it's moderated, and I don't know if I think I'd stay away from this one at this point, but I just thought it was interesting that it was powered on the Khan Academy that way. Wherever you are, newspaper, somebody's blog, we have to teach our students how to comment appropriately to other people using proper grammar, proper spelling, in responding to questions. So I just pulled this off a newspaper, but we really have to teach this skill because they don't naturally know how to do this online. And so it's really, really important that we teach this commenting and this discussion type of thing. It is an expectation when they go to college that they know how to do this already. So we better start teaching it. So use any of these tools, whatever it is. We really have to take the concept of discussion that we've been doing face-to-face, no problem, and we need to expand beyond the walls of the classroom. Thanks.